promised you I will come back in so I can finish up this cardigan sweater. And I wanted to come back in before it got too late because this is the only day I'll get to finish it before the week is out. All right, so I'm going to take a second and go ahead and share this out. I am back, and I don't know how long I'll be here, but hopefully it won't be too long. Hopefully we can get this done. I'm going to sit that right here just like that. And let's make it happen. I've got my thread in, patterns already cut. One of the things I forgot to do is cut my pockets. All right, so let me go grab those real quick while I wait for you to come in. So maybe that little bit of fabric I had left was reserved for the pockets. All right. And I have another pattern. I don't know where this pattern piece came from. So we'll just leave that right there. Let's see if I can put my hands on. All right. I need to capture two of these pockets. I forgot about that. I marked the pockets, but I wasn't even thinking that I need to have pockets to sew in. So let's see if I can locate these in the pattern piece. Seven, 8177. I see the flap. If I don't find the pocket, I'll make one up. It's not hard to make a pocket. That's the only thing that I didn't get cut out. Hello to those of you that are coming in. Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. I did not announce myself coming in. I am throwing pieces on the floor. Oh, there it is. I found it. Sorry for all the noise. I forgot to cut my pockets out. So I decided I did want to do the pockets. And I had just enough fabric, I'm sure, to do pockets. Okay, sorry about that, all in your face. If I couldn't find the pocket, I was just going to make a pocket pattern. It's simple to make. There's nothing too hard about it. All right, so for those of you that are just coming in, I am finishing up Cardigan Simplicity 8177. And I cut this out earlier today. And this is another segment on set-in sleeves. So this week, for those of you that don't know, So Much Talent is in the midst of their January Stash Busting Challenge. We do this every year where we refrain from buying fabrics and buying patterns. So that's the fast. No patterns, no fabrics of any kind. However, if you caught my last video, not the last one, but the one before it, I did two today, I talked about Joann Fabrics a little bit, and those of you are experiencing store closings in your area. So there's a little element of surprise at the end of that video. However, I chose to do this cardigan in this knit fabric, and this is going to be my version of how to sew in set-in sleeves using knit fabric. The third video back, I did a video on how to sew in sleeves using woven fabric. So I demonstrated how to do that. So if you didn't catch that, go back and catch like the third video back. All right, it's a couple of days ago. I'm going to go ahead and cut out sleeves. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Everything else in this is cut out. So it shouldn't take long. I have my thread set up. So we should be able to move through this pretty quickly. My iron is already on. So let me know if any of you that are watching, if you are sewing tonight, and if you are, what are you working on? Let me know. If you're participating in the challenge, let me know that too. Thought I was gonna have this left over to possibly do a fanny pack, because I found that the cording or the strap that I bought for another bag, I thought I was going to use it for that, but I'm not. But it matches this fabric perfectly, so I'm going to use it with this somehow. I hope you all are having a great night. If you're just stopping in, thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you. All right. All right. Just going to put y'all on mute. Got to have the mute on. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Baby, I got it. What you need? I got it. All right. Just put a little noise in the background. These are YouTube channels that I'm watching. And I have to find something else to watch. I didn't get my sharpest scissors to cut this out. But that's okay, as long as I get it cut out, right? All right. If you're still in, drop a little line in the comments and let me know you're in. Alright, so I got the pockets cut out. That was the last thing I had to do. Alright, I'm going to put this aside. I'll sit that over there for now. Alright, so there's only 5 pieces. Hey, our House of Lady, how art thou? Hi, House of Lady J, how art thou? One of these days we're going to actually get together. One of these days. Hey, Lady Demetra, I just watched a replay of your prayer call. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the full replay. I happened to see your notification pop up from yesterday when you were inside the Walk It Out group. I don't want that to be too louder than me. I don't want YouTube to shut me down. All right, so you love those shoes? Oh, listen. Let me see. Those shoes were crazy, right? They were crazy. All right, so put that over here. Yeah, those shoes were crazy. But that's what she was working in. I wish I had taken a picture of the whole outfit. I, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. All right, so this cardigan, for those of you that come in, if you missed it when I first came in, say yes, ma'am. We shall connect soon, maybe in spring. Too cold right now. I know, right? um, yeah, no, we couldn't do the do rag. I was listen. I was done. I guess you heard it in my voice in prayer yesterday, but it's all good. Uh, so I am finishing this cardigan up right here, and I'm using this fabric. It's a knit, it's like a plissé knit, and I cut this out earlier today. I'm gonna omit the flat pockets, but I am adding side pockets, and so yeah, and I'm omitting the neck facing except for the front band, but I am putting a neck bias trim right there, probably of the same fabric. So I got everything cut out. It only has a back. It has a back. It has a front. It has the front facing, and it has a sleeve, and it has pockets. So it's not a whole lot to it. All right. I've already fused interface the facing. I've already made my notches and my dots and everything. So it's all good. So we can just kind of rock and roll with this, right? Um, I've already marked my darts. There's two bust darts in the front. So this is a precursor to, I gave you a tip today in the video. If you haven't seen it already, I gave you a quick little tip. You say, oh nice, did you have to make any modifications to the sizing or you cut your size out? I actually did make modifications and I did the previous video. You could actually see me cutting this out, but I cut because the pattern is much bigger than me. But then again, who knows? It might fit me just fine. But I generally cut out a size, like a size 14 here at the top in anything I do, and a size 18 or 22 in the, I'm sorry. Well, maybe it might be okay. The pattern suggests that I cut a 22. Um, but I cut a 20 out. That was the smallest that they had. I thought the pattern was going to be super big. I would try to go with like a 16 or 18. Anyway, outside of the size, and I didn't deviate from the size 20, really. I'm just going to cut bigger seams. But I did have to do a sway back or a lengthening adjustment, back waist length adjustment. Because I usually have a sway back. Well, I don't usually have a sway back. I have a sway back. So I usually have to make the sway back adjustments. And then I make the adjustments to the hem of the garment, the hem of the jacket. I did lengthen the sleeve, only my preference because I want to be able to roll the sleeve up. So I rolled that up. But outside of that, I didn't make uh, any adjustments really when it comes to the size. So we're going to see. I'm going to try it on and I'm going to see how it comes out. I got a feeling I'm probably going to like the size. Um, but the tip that I gave earlier today with the dart, I don't know if you Lady J, I don't know if you're familiar with Gentleman Jim. He visits here in Augusta quite often because he has friends here. But he's out of Atlanta and he's a master tailor. And so when he was here, we did a summer retreat here back in 2018, the Marriott downtown. And he was one of the speakers, the conference speakers. And so one of the tips that he gave for sewing in darts to get to a precise dart is to mark the center of the dart and then one of the legs. And then once you sew that in, you'll know you can fold it on the center of the dart and sew along the marking for the leg. Then you'll know you have the dart in correctly. So that's what I did. You can see that line right there. And that's the center line that I have it folded on. So I'm going to go there. Generally, I would start at the point of the dart, but I am going to start this time. Oh, I don't have it threaded. Got to finish threading it. Um, so there's only two darts, the two bust darts. I didn't have to change the dart placement because it lined up pretty much on point. The shoulder, the back across the shoulder seems to be about 2 inches uh, longer or wider than what I am, but because this is a cardigan, that may be fine. So what I'm going to do is try this on before I put the sleeve on to see where the back falls, if I need to make adjustments across the shoulder. No, not familiar with him. Okay, look him up. Look up James McFarland, or if you just type in Gentleman Jim, uh, you'll see who he is. But he is a master tailor. He's taught a lot of folks how to perfect sewing, how to master the art. Uh, a, a lot have started businesses because of his tutoring. As a matter of fact, Demetra on here, I don't know if you're still on here, Demetra, but Demetra has taken classes from him, if I'm not mistaken. I did not get the privilege yet, um, outside of sharing a platform with him on when he came down for the retreat, but to actually take a class. But um, thinking about changing that pretty soon. But he is awesome in his craft. I've learned so much just with talking to him. All right. I'm sewing on the 3.0 stitch length, which is my default stitch length for me. He is a Georgia native. Like I said, you know what? He has many friends here in Augusta. He resided in, you know what? I don't know that he's a Georgia native, but I know he spent a great bit of his younger years in New York, if I'm not mistaken. He tells the story. He has a YouTube channel, Gentleman Jim. I think it's Gentleman Jim, and he's written a book, and he tells the story of how he got started. And I mean, he has a fascinating story. But I think his YouTube channel may have been called "The Brother from Harlem with the." Is it the brother from Harlem with no education, or the brother from Harlem something? But he had a series where he talked about this book, and he went through this whole story about how he got started. So it's very fascinating. And but he was also had a YouTube channel with a young lady named Victoria Baylor. It was called The Tailor and the Dressmaker. She's a dressmaker out of Savannah, Georgia. So he resided in Savannah, Georgia for a good little bit of time until he moved back up to Atlanta, where he opened up like a small manufacturing firm. And so he's there now, and he's, still teaching, still mingling, still doing his thing, still sewing, still designing and creating. But he has such an interesting and such a rich history. It's just fascinating just to listen to him. But if you Google or do YouTube search for Gentleman Jim or James McFarland, he should come up. But I love talking to him. I periodically get to talk him, uh, call periodically. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I need to reach out. But yeah, if you ever get to sit in his presence, it's just he's a wealth of knowledge. As a matter of fact, I forgot about this. Earlier last year, I think it was earlier last year, I did an interview. We had a conversation here on YouTube. So if you scroll back through some of the channels, hey Zena, if you scroll back through some of the live posts that I did, we had a conversation here on YouTube that is still up. Can't remember. I want to say it was last year. It might have been the previous year that I did it. Time is flying by so fast. All right, I got to get these big scissors out my hand when I'm clipping, trimming. I am fine, Zena. How art thou? All right, so I have my darts in. Um, I had to true up some areas because of the changes that I made to my sway back. So once I get these in, we'll see how that works out. I'm going to put my sleeve to the side for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and sew up my back seam. I love this fabric. I bought this fabric at Walmart um, here probably last year. And I was going to do like a, maybe like a, actually I think I was planning on doing a cardigan or something out of it. Um, Probably could have took a deeper seam down the back, but I might still do it. You good? I'm actually using Simplicity 8177. I'm doing the cardigan in the middle with the sleeves, but just minor adjustments for me. Minor fit adjustments, a sway back adjustment, and then truing up from where I made the adjustments, and then I lengthen the sleeve about 4 inches so that I can turn, so I can have a cuff in the sleeve. And then I'm not going to add the flaps on it, but I am going to add the side pockets. And if you're shaking, you know what? I have to change this because put you on a different tripod so you don't shake. I'll leave that there for now. All right. Yeah, it is an old one. You want it? Listen, I didn't think I was gonna make it because it was bigger. The pattern was from a size 20 to a 28. So I thought, oh my goodness, I don't even have the right size. I can't go buy one. Yeah, I can't go buy one. Our Joann's is not closing, or at least there's no signs of it closing, but there are some stores that are closing. If you didn't check out my video, I just did on my take on my thoughts on Joann's recent bankruptcy announcement. Go check that out. So many people are in a tizzy about Joann's and thinking, because it's the second bankruptcy, this is probably it, but that's not necessarily so. Still a restructuring. They have 800 some odd stores. I mean, think about it. They're trying to get their finances straight. So if they got rid of half of those stores, they would probably be in good standing. So, which is what the company that I work for now is what they did, and people swore the news spread like wildfire that our company was closing, and I mean they just wreaked havoc with that news. But the same company that bought my company out is the same company. The liquidators came in. I can't remember. It's not the company that bought us out, but the liquidators. These are the same liquidators that handle our situation. And so what they do is they go in and they set up these massive sales. They liquidate merchandise so that they can recoup as much money as they can. And they have so much time to liquidate enough assets to be able to recover and recoup. And within that, they are going before the courts to see if they could get a buyer uh, for their company. And this buyer will restructure and take over and save the name, pretty much. So it is possible, you know, Joann's may not necessarily be closing, may not necessarily close. They're just restructuring right now. So we don't know what's going to happen. All right. Yeah. Do not know what to make of Joann's anymore. I know. Well, one thing I do know that if they kind of change some of their selling practices, if they kind of update some things. If they would just maybe minimize their stores, maybe get rid of half of them for real and focus on the rest of the half, update them, um, bring in good, get good buyers for fabrics and merchandise and stuff like that. Get staffed properly, and they're not staffed properly because they can't afford to pay folks. So that's why when you try to stretch yourself out there too thin, things like this is bound to happen. So I guess they have to realize that it's better to liquidate some stores than to fold, in all areas. So they get a buyer. The buyer is going to go in and close some stores in order to save and liquidate as much as they possibly can. So you're going to see massive sales like you're seeing now. You're going to see the 50, 60, 70, 80% off, even 90% off sales throughout. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Um, if they want to stay relevant, because think about it. Pretty much, especially in a lot of our areas, rural areas, Joann's is about the only stores that we have where we can go in and physically buy fabric and buy patterns, that has a large inventory of notions and patterns and fabrics. Um, like Michael's don't have it. Michael's don't carry fabric that we need. They don't carry patterns that we need. Some stores do, but not our stores here. Joann's carries some patterns, but they don't carry all the patterns that we need, and they certainly don't carry all of the dress patterns that we need. Like formal fabrics and stuff. They carry a little bit, but Hobby Lobby is more craft based. Um, Joann's is more craft based and more like fleece and um, craft based too, really. But we need a store that's like fabric based, like dress, focus on dress fabrics and current and trendy dress fabrics, and not trying to price gouge folks. You know, you look at Joann's and the lights are half on, seem like they're in the dark selling to you, and you're wondering, okay, so these prices, the sale prices are not sale prices. You know, is they're trying to get their act together. I actually hope now y'all know how I feel about Joanne's. Y'all do. And y'all know my little pet name for Joanne's. For those y'all been rocking with me for a while. But I'm gonna be nice. I really do hope they can make it. Because a lot of people rely on them, especially in our area. A lot of people do. Now I do know a lot of people buy online. That's true. I buy a lot online because I have to source the type of fabrics that I need. I have to source them from online. Um, because we're not getting some of that fabric that some of the other Joanns are getting, like these high end fabrics. We're just not getting it, and so we need to see an upgrade. We need to see upgrade in the stores. So I really hope they would liquidate some stores, as many as they can that will bring them current and that will say salvage what's left of it. I hope that some new buyers can come in and they can hire new buyers for their stores um, that understand the trends and the times and what people want. But you're trying to stay relevant with everything else. You're trying to support. That's why you've got a lot of influencers out here trying to do their thing. Trying to help keep hope alive. You know, uh, they have to pay these influencers. You know, that's a lot. And I wonder you have if everything that the influencers are doing is enough to get enough people to buy to keep. Obviously, it's not enough to buy to keep them staying alive, staying afloat the way they are now. So they're gonna have to do something. And that's just my opinion. That's why I said they're not necessarily. This situation doesn't necessarily mean that they're closing, but they're just under major reconstruction. Yeah, I remember Cloth World. Oh my God, yes. Well, Joanne's was Cloth World. I'm sure you know that. That's where my mother shopped before for fabric, and JoJo purchased them. Exactly. I definitely remember Cloth World. And I remember my mom shopping clothwear. I remember climbing in bins. I remember going to the alleys, for the markdown clearance alleys and stuff like that, buying, getting bargains and deals. My It was Joann's at the time I was getting married back in 89, and that's where I purchased my materials for my dress. Well, yeah, my materials for my dress, my wedding headgear, and all that stuff. It was Joann's at the time. I mean, it was Clothworld at the time. I'm trying to find a stabilizer. Hang on, I'm gonna put a little fusible interface in there to stabilize that seam a little bit better than what it is. It was so much fun going in and touching the fabrics. Right, right. So you think about it, if Joann's disappears, we're not going to be able to go in and touch the little bit of fabric that we can touch, right? So we need them. I mean, whether we like them or not, or whether they are everything that we need them to be, they're a quick resource when we need it. When we need to go get a quick zipper. Of course, the Walmart is there. Michael's is there, but they don't have all of the stylish stuff that we need, right? They don't have everything that we need. I'm trying to find my useful interface. Yeah, they don't have everything, all of the stylish stuff that we need. I mean, barely does um, Walmart have it, but we could probably rely on them more than we can Walmart or Michael's or Hobby Lobby to have it. Especially good quality stuff. Now, I know if you like me, many of us buy a lot of our more quality notions and things from places like Wawac. But still, if you're in a crunch and you need something right at the last minute, I don't know about you. I don't know where your location of Joann's is, but I can just go up the street about 5 minutes away and be able to get what I need. Hang on, I'll be right back. I've got to press this on so I can stabilize my shoulder seams. And then I'll go back over the stitch. I don't need those stitches stretching out of shape. And I'll serge it in a minute. So you guys, anybody sewing tonight? ET Bible? Okay, that's a little bit more stable. Here. If you are, what are you sewing? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stitch over that one more time just to stabilize that stitch seam. See, this is so much fun. Okay, same. Me too. Joann is 5 minutes up the road. Really? Okay. So what side are you on? Like I'm like between the Augusta Mall and Grovetown. We might be neighbors closer than you think. I'm in the Buckhead area, right off of Bel Air. We might just be neighbors. You're next to Piedmont Hospital. Piedmont. Is there a Piedmont? No, are you downtown? Because if you coming from downtown, girl, you flying talking about 5 minutes away. You a speed racer. I'm trying to think Piedmont. Oh wait, Piedmont. Did Piedmont take over Trinity? 'Cause I think Piedmont might have took over Trinity here on Riceburg Road. Oh, you downtown? Okay. I was like, girl, you're a speed racer. All right, so I'm gonna search this. Um, oh wait, oh yeah. I've already checked my stitches for. Oh, you know what? I took my I took my blade off because I was doing a rolled hem. I think. Let me put my blade back up. I'm getting used to my machine, y'all. Getting used to this old surgery. I think I'm gonna wait. Let me get the side seam sewn up first, and I'm gonna wait so I can see how it fits because I might need to take up more than what I need. The Piedmont took over Trinity. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking if you're like 5 minutes away, that's more doable from the Riceburg Road side. So I don't know if you're closer to Piedmont Uptown or downtown division. I am going to sew. Um, I'm going to sew a deep seam, like a 3/4 inch seam allowance. Is that really 3/4 of an inch, or is that an inch? Cause my machine is so funny. Yeah, that's more like an inch. So I am sewing an inch seam allowance under the arms. Cause I know it's going to be big up under there. Oh, wait. I forgot to sew the pockets, y'all. Y'all didn't stop me. Somebody stop me. Why is this pulling? Something's pulling underneath. Oh, let me put the full spool of black thread on so I don't have to worry about this. Okay. Maybe 7 minutes. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, it's not that far. Yeah, I forgot to put the pockets in, y'all. I'm about to go to town and forget it. If I had done that, y'all, I promise you, I just would have left the pockets off. Sorry, I just would have left them off. Well, you know what? Let me, because I need to see. I should have made these a little bit deeper. Should have made just a little bit deeper down there because I do like a deep pocket, but I didn't have so much fabric anyway. I'm gonna pin this up real quick and I'm just gonna see how I like the fit of it. If I like the fit of it, then I'm gonna go ahead and sew it up on the sides. Since I do want pockets. Of course this cardigan doesn't close. Has anybody made this pattern before? Demetra, do you even get a chance to sew clothes for yourself? Because I know you like me. You're sewing for clients the majority of the time. And I have to sneak time to sew clothes for myself. Lady J, you're the same too. I know you still, um, how's your schedule? Because I know you sew for clients too, running your business. Do you get a chance to sew for yourself? And if so, where do you find time to make clothes for you? It's kind of like a hairdresser or somebody like that. You service everybody else, but you don't get a chance to take care of your own self. You rarely get a chance to sew for yourself. Yeah. I think this is going to be fine. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be glad I cut out this 20 Because it's looking a little narrow to me, but we're gonna see. I'm liking this idea of the cardigan. I might just wear this tomorrow. Might wear this to work tomorrow, just as a cover. You know, we have to dress in black. Women in black. Love the fabric. Thank you. I like this too. I tell you, I got it from Walmart, right? It was on that table. You know, we had the fabric rolled up. Was 4 yards of fabric. So I think I might have paid $4 for it. Might have paid $8 for it. I think I paid $8 for it. Not sure, but it was so nice I couldn't leave it. Of course, I had to inspect it to make sure everything was okay with it. I'm hoping I can get this done within an hour and a half. I don't see why I can't. It's not lined or anything. As you can see, the inside is self. It's not self lined, but it's has a black. Uh, I guess it's fused. I don't know what you call it, but the inside of it is solid black. It almost look like an interfacing that's been fused to the knit. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try this on real quick. Slide this back so I can see myself in the mirror. See myself in the camera. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna have to do anything to this. And it has a band or facing down the front. So I take that inch out. You can see when I took the fabric out. If I hadn't have taken that fabric out, there would have been some bunching in the back. But I took about 2 inches out of the back. Stand this way, you can see it. You can see how it conforms to my body more. Oh yeah, this is gonna be perfect. So I'm not gonna even change anything across here. It's just a tad bit off my shoulder. Once I take that 5/8 of an inch out there and take 5/8 of an inch here, it's gonna be just fine. I'm not gonna even worry about taking that extra off, but I love it. And I'm gonna go back and get more of this belting for the fabric. I think that's gonna be nice. All right, so yeah, okay. All right, so I can. Sorry, my phone's trying to do an update. How dare they try to do an update while I'm live? All right, so let me go ahead and get these pockets on. Just gonna undo right where the pockets go. Get those sewn in. Yeah, I'm excited because it fits. This jacket must have supposed to fit snug. Y'all, either that or I don't gain a whole lot of weight. I can no longer wear 16. I rather believe the pattern was really snug. Ah, it's the pattern, it's not me. Probably a combination of both. All right. All right, so I got that one side in. What's on your table now, Demetra? Or is your clients? I'll go ahead and stitch this side, and then I'll go to the other side. Skirts and a coat. Okay. Is this for alterations, or are you actually making a complete, making these items? I just contracted another wedding gown, and got confirmation, the first wedding gown, that she still wants to move forward with it. Um, so I'm excited about that. I contracted my first prom dress for the year. Really excited about it. Um, my first sew for the year though was a coat alterations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're making the coat, yeah, and the skirts, yeah, yeah. My first client piece for this year was coat alterations, and it came out really good. That's the one I think I showed. I did a actually I was showing that doing the coat alterations here on YouTube. It's one of my live videos. Um, let's see what else I have to make. Oh, in the works to do some praise garments. So that's on the table. That's in the making. So excited about all of those things. This time I have my calendar and everything, trying to pace myself out. I'm only taking so much work each year. I mean, not each year, each month. Got to give myself a break. I have to remember to schedule myself time off. Cause in my head, like last year, I felt like every time I was off and worked out was just because I was off on Tuesdays and my days to work here. I never took vacation time. I never took time away for myself just to give myself a day. So, not this year. I'm being a little bit wiser and giving myself days off. You know, um, I did it towards the end of last year where I went in and blocked off time off my calendar so my customers couldn't go online and book appointments with me. I turned my calendar off for the whole month of December and half of November and the whole month of December. I turned my calendar off. I just found the pattern for about $10. Had to pay $10 in shipping though. Okay, wow, you had to pay $10 in shipping. So this wasn't available on Simplicity. Somebody Wanda today earlier today, she said it was. She thought it was available on Simplicity. So I don't know if you could have gotten it as a PDF. You might not like PDFs. I don't know. All right, just going in matching up all of my notches and stuff. My placement marks. Okay. You already have your fabric in mind, Zena? How you want to use it? Yeah, I still want to make my off-white pantsuit, and so this will be a nice cover, a nice over jacket um, for that. Okay. might not even sew up the, I might just, instead of sewing up 5/8 of an inch, I might just sew up the regular, I mean, instead of sewing up an inch, I might just sew up 5/8 of an inch. So 3/8 times 4, 3/8, 3/8, that's 6/8, that's 3/4. Um, 3/4 and 3/4 is a yard and a half. I mean, an inch and a half, right? So give me another inch and a half seam allowance. Or should I? Did it seem like I needed to let it sew it up, or did it seem too snug? I definitely couldn't wear a whole lot up under it. I couldn't wear anything big up under. So I'm talking about wearing that jacket, pantsuit up under it. I couldn't do that. But I did mention wearing this with like a turtleneck look. That would be nice. It's just the jacket by it. This by because the jacket by itself. Alright, so one of the things that I hate, like if I'm sewing this up, I forget where the stopping line is. So I had to mark this because I'm getting ready to serge this and I end up serging the seam allowances or the notches right off. So I'm marking where I need to stop. I need to stop and start. Oh, I was wondering where my other clips went. I'll do it on this side. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and pin these together. I didn't think to look at the website because the pattern is so old. Yeah, and yes, I think I have fabric in mind. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking that somebody said that the pattern was available on Simplicity. Somebody said Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and Simplicity. Are there any, do you have a Joann's in your area that's closing? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and serge up where I stitched the pockets on, just so I can, I like clean insides, so I don't want to see any of that. When you look inside my sweater, I don't want to see raw edges, so I'm going to go ahead and serge that up. That's one side. I did that side, and we'll go ahead and stitch up that shoulder too while I'm at it. Keep an eye on what's underneath so I don't accidentally stitch up nothing up under there like I did once before. ahead and stitch this. Just press that to one side. All right, I am going to stabilize the neck area. What did you say? I have Douglasville, which I have not heard anything yet. Then the Superstore in Kennesaw, and no word either. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna go ahead and serge this center back seam too. Let me go ahead and get this while I'm at it. Put my tray back on. All right. So. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew up the side seams because remember we're talking about sewing set-in sleeves. So normally, especially with a knit garment, I would lay the sleeve flat, sew it all in one, serge the edges on around the sleeve cap and the arm side, and then sew the arms, underarm seams, and the side seams all in one. Because we're doing set-in sleeves, I'm gonna go ahead and sew the sides in, and then I'll set the sleeve in. I'll go ahead and sew up the 1 inch. I like the look of that, the 1 inch seam. It'll be okay. All right, so I need to make sure that this is together right here where that meets up. So I am going to stop right there where that line is, and then I'm going to pivot. Okay, and I really want, I think I already started sewing right there. Maybe not. I really want a deeper pocket, so instead of sewing a 5/8 inch seam allowance, I'm going to sew right on the edge. I'm going to sew right along the edge of the pocket because I want to. This pocket is narrow, but I want as much pocket room as I can get, so I'm going to sew right along the edge. Of course, I'm going to serge it. Make sure that meets up right there in the corner. So I'm making sure both layers are matched up. Alright, so I'll keep going along that edge. I don't know if y'all can see that because this fabric usually bunches up. You can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I think my husband's looking into getting a camera, or either that I told him he'd give me one of his 3 cameras he got that he don't use, so I could set up another view. But he like this, no, you get your own. He's like, you get your own. So he asked me the other day, and I didn't really comment because I really didn't want him spending his money doing that. But that's who he is. All right, so now because I took an inch seam allowance, that's going to be a deep, like a deep hidden pocket. You won't be able to see that pocket so easily. That's where the seam allowance is right there. It's not that deep in, but yeah. So the seam starts about right here. So that's that much that you don't see of that pocket. So it's like totally hidden. So that's all good. All right. Let's get the other one in. Yeah, this is, I like this. I think I may want to make me some more cardigans, y'all. And I love this fabric. I thought I was going to use this fabric to make um, the sweatsuit pattern, sassy sweatsuit pattern by D Pattern Designs. And but I don't think this would have been enough. I'm not sure, but I do have another fabric that I'm going to use that I like. And it can go. This pattern is a knit fabric, but it can go into. It can go from like the cooler days in March to summer days, or well, not so hot summer days, but nice little bleacher outfit. And even though it's a lighter fabric, I mean, who says because it's winter that you have to be dark all the time? You have to go dark fabrics, right? It's a knit. Okay. All right. Let me clip this here in the corner. So when I get to that part, I have to remember to keep my seams towards the pocket. This will always confuse me on this industrial machine. Now, mind you, I've had it for years. My youngest son is 20, going on 26. So I had this machine for about 24 years. But the way the numbers are on here, like the 3/4 inch mark, it literally has 3/4 of an inch, but it is more of a 1 inch. So you have to measure it. If you're not paying attention to the machine, your seams could be off. You wonder, how come I don't have enough room in my garment? Because your machine tricks you. So I had to pay attention to that. All right, so good. All right, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to go ahead and serge this up. Serging as I go. And well, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'll put my sleeve together first, and then I'll go serge. So that way I can serge the sleeves and the sides all at once, and I can sew them in. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. No, I can do that. It's serger too. Go ahead and serge the cut hem of the sleeve. Now I'm sewing a 1-inch seam under the arm because it's 1-inch seam under the jacket. Go ahead and sew this up as well. See how am I doing on my time? Well, it's 1 hour and 7 minutes. So I want to try to get this done. Uh-oh. That wasn't an inch. That was an inch right there. So I said I want to get this done in about 1 hour and a half. I still have the sleeves to sew on. I still have to sew the front facing on and the binding. Probably more or less like 2 hours realistically. No, I'm the only one do that too, that believe that I can sew stuff in a certain amount of time, and then the reality of it, I don't account for the pressing time, the serging time, and all that. Yeah, stitching up a garment, that's good and fine, but you still got to press it and serge it, right? Let's go ahead and get this. I'm sewing the serging the hem edge, but I'm mindful of pushing on the back so that the back one. That's the sleeve. I'm gonna leave a little bit on the seam allowance on the serger, just in case. Let's get the other side done. Make sure that was stitched. Go ahead while we're here and serge up the bottom. Get that out the way. You know, when I was cutting this out earlier, I thought the back was going to have like a little peak or a little dip, but it doesn't. Let's see here. Okay. All right. All right, so let's get that sleeve set in. All right. All right, let's see. Hour and 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes before I meet my half inch for my hour and a half deadline. But don't think I'm gonna make that. So I've got the facing to put on. Got the sleeves to put on, the facing to put on. I have to hem everything. I mean, I'll get close, but we won't make it. Pretty sure won't make it. All right, so this is my front and this is the front of my sleeve. So I'm going to match up my underarm seams. Let's pin my seams towards the back. And because this fabric is stretchy, I didn't have to go in and add any, I didn't have to do any gathering stitches. Okay, so I just have to make sure that I match up my arm side notches, which there's one right here, that match up that notch right there, that placement notch, match up the center of the shoulder notch, okay, match that up, and then do the same thing going backwards, match up that placement notch right there, and that those notches are like right here and right back here. That's where those placement marks are. It's kind of the cap sleeve, indication of where the cap sleeve would be. The cap of the arm would be, sorry, not cap, sleeve. So see right here in the, right here, there's a little bit of extra fabric right there. So I'm just going to pull that as I sew, and that's going to help ease that in. Same thing here. You can see where there's a little extra on the sleeve right here. This is the jacket. This is the sleeve. You see where it's more of the sleeve. So I'm just going to ease that in and pull that as I go. When it pulls, relaxes, it'll go back. It'll fit into place. Same thing here. There's more sleeve than jacket. So I'm just going to pull it, and that's going to ease it right in place. Hey, Rose, how art thou? Good evening. All right, so let's go ahead. I like to start at the underarm just like I did with the woven fabric. Anytime I sew on a sleeve, set, especially set in, I like to start at the underarm. I am going to do a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Okay, making sure that the seams meet. I'm just going to stretch the fabric out a little bit as I go. And it's not going to hurt me to stretch it because the fabric is stretchy, so I'm just pulling it to move. Making sure that my needle is left in my fabric as I'm moving along. Making sure that the edges of the fabric meet up. That's important because you don't want to take anything away from the cap of the sleeve. Okay. Just be careful to make sure that that shoulder mark stays in place where it's supposed to. Okay. All right. Again, making sure that the edges meet up. Making sure that there's no puckers, pinches under the bottom. You all can see that the stitch is going to stabilize it, so stretching it a little bit is okay. If you're sewing with your home machine or domestic machine, as they call it, you could use a really tiny stretch stitch to make sure that your fabric maintains its stretch. But really don't need to maintain stretch on the arm. You want it to be stable. You want it to stabilize. But to keep your stitches from popping, you can do a tiny zigzag stitch. All right, so this is the sleeve that's in now. Okay. All right, you can see there is no pinching, no gathering. It's in there smooth and straight. Okay. And it's in there just like it needs to be. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get that other sleeve in. So that's the difference in sewing the set-in sleeve on a knit fabric as opposed to a woven. A woven fabric, you're going to have to add those ease stitches in, those gathering stitches, and ease around the cap of the sleeve um, to make that sleeve fit. It's easier with a knit fabric because you do have stretch, and you can stretch your fabric, pull it as you go to make it fit. The key is making sure all of your notches and placement points match up so you can get the right amount of easing in the areas where needed. So it's important when you're moving your arm back and forth, moving your arm up and pulling and stretching, that you have the ease that you need where you need it. Making sure you lay your shoulder seams towards the back at the shoulder. Uh, I said shoulder, I said that twice. Making sure you lay that shoulder seam towards the back. Okay. Matching up everything. All right, let's go ahead and get this in. 5/8 of an inch. So a little bit extra under that arm because you are moving your arm up and down and got a lot of stress under that arm seam. So you want to make sure that it's not going to come undone. Okay. This time I'm sewing with the sleeve. I think I'm sewing with the sleeve on top this time. So I definitely have to make sure I stretch it a little bit to let it fit where it needs to fit. Okay, that's a shoulder seam. I'm going over that a little bit extra. Almost finished with putting this sleeve in. Being careful to make sure there's no puckers or pinches up underneath. Okay. It's all good. All good in the neighborhood. Thank y'all for the likes. I see we got some extra likes up there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and serge this, and then I'm gonna stitch. While I'm here, let me go ahead and now. Well, let me go ahead and I'm gonna serge this so I can get that part out of the way. has a vest without. It's okay. Pretty confident that I can get this sewn within that 2 hours. Get everything done. All right, so all of the inside is serged. Everything is done. All right. So what I'm going to do now is actually go in and stabilize the neck area because I didn't do that in the beginning. So I'm going to go around the neck. Yeah, I'm going to go around the neck line and stay stitch it. Do that with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's my machine that you hear humming like that because it needs the oil, and I believe the petals need to be oiled. So as I'm stabilizing, I'm sure to keep the back in check to make sure it's not stretching as I sew, because if it stretches, that defeats the purpose of me stabilizing it. All right, so got that done. All right, now I'm going to just lay this to the side here, and I am going to sew up the facing in the fronts. So make sure I'm stitching up the right side. Actually, I'm getting ready to stitch up the wrong side. Okay. No, I had it right. Nope, no, I didn't. I need to. Okay, what side am I doing? If I sew this side up, am I doing the right side? Let me take a look at this pattern real quick before I do something wrong. Remember, because this has no collar, no band to it, so I need to make sure that I'm sewing the right side. Oh, you know what? All I need to do is look at the notch that I clipped. Did I clip the notch? If I didn't clip the notch, shame on me, because that would tell me. And I didn't. So shame on me, because that would have told me what side. Okay. So that means I just need to go to the pattern. What did I do with the pattern piece? Yeah, Okay, well, it says it right there, center front. Okay, so that means I was stitching up the right side. Okay. Let me look at the front, just to double check. Okay, looking at the notches. Okay, so yeah, I got it right. I'll sew up this side and then stitch on this side. Okay, I got it right. Never hurt to double check. Make sure you're doing it right, because there's nothing worse than getting as far as you think you're going to get, and then you have to undo something. Okay, so this jacket has no buttons or anything, or this cardigan has no buttons or anything. So I've already interfaced it and everything, so I didn't have to do that. So because one side is interfaced, one side is a little bit looser than the other one, so I just really have to make sure I hold this together proportionately so that there's no extra fabric towards the end. Okay, so I'm just pulling it a little tight, not too tight, because it's kind of falling into place. I've always told you the bottom feeds faster than the top, so it's just kind of working itself out. I just have to just watch it and make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. That's one of the reasons why I have it pinned too. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and press this open flat like this, and I may even, no, I'm not, I'm going to top understitch it. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's gonna make it lay down flat, and then I'll trim it a little bit. Probably grade it so as I trim it, it won't be too bulky right there in the front. Really don't matter too much because again, there's no buttons or anything, no button holes that I have to put right there. So I'm gonna stay understitch on the facing side. Just being careful not to stretch it. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm actually going to stitch this part close because I'm going to add a neck facing to the back part. This part is going to be faced, and I want this neck edge to be covered, but from this seam on back around the neck, I'll add a binding to it. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this 5/8 of an inch close. Okay. Right, so I'm gonna kind of clip cattle corner right down when it's too bulky right there. Trim this out underneath some of that seam on one side. That's what it means to grade. So I'm not trimming both sides because that defeats the purpose. If you just trim one side of the seam allowance, it eliminates bulk. So when it's laying down flat and you press it, um, it'll lay smooth. Now, if you trim both sides at the same time, the same amount, you still have that same thickness. It's just a shorter amount of it. It's not as wide. That makes sense. Folding that back and trimming some of that seam allowance down. That's the front edge that I'm doing. So where I am is 138. Can I beat my 2 o'clock? I mean my 2-hour time frame. I'm already past the 1.5 hours. I'm also gonna sew this at the bottom too. So I want that at the bottom to be finished off. Yeah, I'll do a 5/8 inch seam. And I'll do a 1 inch seam. Fit that close to the edge. I'm gonna trim that down some. I'm gonna trim this down some, but not as much as the first one. So you see how I graded that? I trimmed this down, but then I trimmed that down some too, but not as much as the other one. And I cut that corner so that when I fold it over, there's that bulk is not in the seam. All right, now I need my little seam turner. Oh, there's my scissors right there. Didn't know where they were. I have a little point turner, but I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I like to use this. That's too much stuff in here. All right, so I like to use that. It's a little old school. I don't even know if they still make these anymore. Go in and point that, push that point out. with this. Okay, nice little clean point. All right, once I get the other one up, then I'll go ahead and do a press that flat. Okay, nice little rounded point right there. All right, so let's get the other one sewn up. Stitching on the side that's interfaced so that the side, the facing side that's not interfaced will comply to the interface side. Okay, go ahead and understitch that like I did the other one. Hey Elisa, good evening. How are you? Trying to beat the 2 o'clock, the 2 hour time slot. That's my own little thing since I didn't make my half hour. Okay, all right. Let's trim that excess out. Are you guys participating in a lot of challenges, sewing challenges right now? One of the challenges that's out right now that I think is a lot of fun is the jar challenge that Deanna uh, from down in Florida is doing, where you take a jar and you put in, I can't remember how many projects it is. I think it's 25 projects, and then you just pick a out of that jar. You just pull from the jar and whatever project that you pull out. Like you write down projects on a piece of paper and you fold it up, throw it in the jar. And each time you pull out of that jar, whatever you pull out of the jar, that's what you have to sew up. I thought that was a great idea. Um, the fashion therapist did one for herself where she's got fabric pieces that she cut up and put in a jar. And she shake the jar up, and whatever fabric piece, whatever fabric she pulls out of the jar, She's got to make something with that fabric. Thought that was a neat idea too. Those are both great ways to fabric stash, to bust your stash and sew from your stash. A lot of people are trying to refrain from buying fabric and being conscious of where you're spending your money, how you're spending your money. So both of those are great ways to bust stash. I'm gonna trim just a little bit more at the bottom here. How are you guys managing your stash? Are you doing good? What is your regular time on Facebook? I don't have a regular time. I keep saying, I've been saying for years I'm gonna do a regular time, but I will say most times that I come on will be on Tuesdays. Just kind of pop in. Um, I'm not on as Facebook as much as I am on Instagram or here on YouTube. Right, so I'm gonna trim this down. Yeah, I'm not on there as much. People don't watch as much on Facebook. So, but I do go in there to share information, what I'm getting ready to do on the other channels, like here on YouTube or Instagram. I'll go in there and just spread the word, or go in and find out what's going on. What are y'all doing? How your projects coming along? What times are you guys usually on Facebook? That's a good question. Maybe I could keep that in mind and come on at a time that you guys are on. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna give this a good press, and then I'm gonna come and sew this onto the jacket. Do that in just a minute. Put this to the side. I'll be right back. I want my paddle pieces on the floor. This is turning out really nice. I'm very satisfied with it. Make sure that I pin this in the appropriate places so that it's lined up just right. Just making sure I press these seam allowances down flat. rubbing this, y'all. I'm gonna set that right there. The other one. This is gonna be so comfy. So comfy to wear. Now I'm trying to think of what other fabric, nice weight of knit fabric like this that I have in my stash. I said this was about 4 yards, and this took every bit of about the 4 yards that I had. I didn't look at what the pattern called for, but I just started cutting off. Just figured it had to take at least 3.5 yards. Almost done. Heat is hot. Okay. All right. So I've got all of that done. So now where am I? Ooh, it's 1:53. All right, so I may have time to get this sewn in, but the facings and the hem, they're going to take me a little past 2 o'clock. But at least this will give you an opportunity to see what this looked like. All right, so I'm going to stitch 5/8 of an inch right here because I need that's where I need to start this at the top, because again I'm going to have a facing right here, a bias trim. So this is going to have to start below that. All right, so which side? So what I'm going to do, well, no, I don't have to do that. Would have been nice to do, but I'm not. All right, so this inside is where I top stitched it, I believe. Yeah, I can't even see where I top stitched it. Oh, I see it. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to start that here. Pin that in place, and I'm just going to serge the bottom edge. Not the bottom edge, but I'm going to serge the seam that I'm about to stitch. Instead of concealing the seam, I'm just going to sandwich it together and serge it all in one. Now, what I'm going to do, I've got the top pinned in place. I'm going to go ahead and pin the bottom. I am going to do a 1-inch hem. So I'm going to pin this about 1 inch above the edge. And what I'm going to do here is fold this 1-inch edge over like this. So it'll create an automatic hem. Like it'll turn automatically. So I'll go ahead and pin that there just like that. And when I stitch it, it'll fold back and automatically create a turn for that hem. So Just need to make sure that all of this is going to lay flat. It should. It should fit perfectly in place. No gapping or anything. So far, so good. I'm careful to pin this in place because I didn't stitch the facing together. So making sure all three of those open seams are closed together. Okay. I can stitch that all in one. I saved myself a little bit of time by not stitching that together first. Pinning all the layers together and then stitching it, and then I'll serge everything together at once. Okay. So what's going to happen is when I put that binding on there like this, when I stitch that on, that's going to have that little edge still open. And so that's going to create bias binding. I actually could just turn this under and stitch it in place, but I want to make sure it's a little bit more stable right there. So I'm just going to leave that edge up, and once it's folded under, then it'll look like just a rounded edge, just like that. Okay. What am I working on tonight? I am working on this pattern here, Mimi G's 8177, sorry, making the cardigan. So we're doing more still on the vein of the set-in sleeve. I'm just doing the knit version of the set-in sleeve. I'm going to do a 5/8 inch seam allowance down the center front. Okay, so I have to be really careful because there's no facing. The facing has no interfacing, so it will want to pucker. So I could have stitched it from the other side, but I need to see what I'm doing. So I'm manipulating my fabric as I go to make sure everything stays in place. That's another reason to stitch the interface, stitch the facing and the body of the jacket. Stitch the facing closed while I attach it to the body of the jacket. I could have left the interfacing portion of it open so that I could fold it under and stitch it on top, stitch it so you don't see any seams and encase the seams inside the facing, but I didn't want to do that. One thing about this fabric too, it has puckers in it, so where the little puckery part is, that's the part is doing its job, it's puckering. So it looks the way it's supposed to look. It's throwing me off though because I feel like I'm doing something I'm supposed to be doing, but it's the fabric. I mean, now here at the bottom where I folded the fabric up, I want to make sure that it's folded up taut and very close to the edge, the bottom edge, because if not, there'll be like a little flange or a little, it wouldn't be mesh to the bottom. When I turn it on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully I got it right. See right here where I turned it under. So when I open it back up, see, it did it just a teeny tiny bit, but that's not enough to fuss about. I can press that out. But sometimes it's a lot, like it doesn't mesh up a lot, but that's okay. That's not bad. I'll leave that like that. But this is what happens when I do that. It automatically turns that seam under that hem and makes it smooth right there on the edge in case it's that seam at the very bottom inside the hem. So I could have left it open and it been like this and it really didn't matter, but I'd rather keep that smooth right there at the bottom edge. Okay, but I'm gonna flip this back out and I'm gonna serge that all the way down and let that be that. Then I'll add my neck binding on, and it'll pretty much be done. So let me get the other side on. It's the neck edge, and I've got it marked right here. The neck edge should start at. Okay, and let me get the bottom edge. Get that to start right there. I hope you all will try this if you haven't tried it already, because it's such an easy pattern to sew. And since cardigan seem to be the thing right now, even though this pattern is a oldie, it's oldie but goodie. I'm sure you'll find yourself like me wanting to make more. I had to double check and make sure I had the facing side up this way. Make sure I lay this out and it's flat. Make sure everything lines up the way it should. So far, it seems like it is. And my iron is over there making noises too. Keep it smooth. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get this side stitched on. And then once I do that, I'm just going to try it on just to see the aesthetic of it. And I have to be careful not to get my finger caught up in here too. I did that once before. Not on this machine, but on the machine that I worked on. Caught my fingernail, the needle, and get embedded in my fingernail. Stitch straight through it. I'm surprised I didn't pass out. Yeah, I'm trying to find something new to binge watch. I've been watching Virgin River. The last season played out, season 6. They're gonna come back with a season 7. But I gotta wait. If I had to stitch this from the other side, facing side down, I could zip through this, but I just want to make sure everything is um, not stretching out more than what it should. Okay. All right, here's the bottom. Okay, there we go. That white is right there, so make it look like it's really off. And that's what it looks from this side. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and serge that up, and then that'll be it. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and try it on so you all can see what it looks like, and I can do the rest later. All right. Oh yeah. Yes. I love it. I love it. I really like the long sleeves, so I can wear the sleeves long if I want to. Well, I'm gonna probably sew them up a little bit deeper so that I can turn it up if I want to. Turn the cuff up. Anyway, but I don't know, but I kind of like it long like this. I always like sleeves that hung over my arm, over my hands like this. So I may just leave it long like that. All right, but anyway, for this part right here, oh, thanks, Rose. Yeah, so it does hang right off my shoulder right here. Could have stood to have brought to bring this up. I'm just gonna see how that looks on me. If that looks funny, I'll go back in and stitch up, bring it up an inch. That could be another video. Alterations, ready to wear alterations. but I could bring it up on my shoulder. But I do have narrow shoulders, so I could just put a shoulder pad in there and let that stay like it is. But outside of that, I like the way this fit. With the adjustment that I made a sway back adjustment. I shortened the waist, the waist length about 2 inches in the bodice area, but I lengthened it at the bottom and the back. I don't know if you can see it. So it should fall even around the back. And then my pockets in there. Yes. I love it. All right. If I wanted to add a little closure or something right here, I could. Um, I may go in and adjust that. When you do adjust this, I can go in and cut that down some. I don't know. We'll see. See how that looks. One of the things that I can do instead of adjusting that, I could go in and I could sew a dart in here to take some of that excess out like that. And see how that took up some of that. So I could do a dart right there instead, just do a shoulder dart and bring that down to right above my bust area. And that will eliminate some slack across here, and that will bring that shoulder up a little bit better. So, but otherwise it could be just have that oversized feel. The only thing I don't like how that folds over right there. All right. Now when I close, if I decide to close that, it won't be so bad. But I think I may go in and create a shoulder dart. I don't know. We'll see. What do y'all think? This fabric actually came from Walmart, of all places. It came from Walmart. So what do y'all think about the writing here? How does that look to y'all? Does it look like it should be an oversized little cardigan? Does it look too big? Because it is. I'm usually doing like a 14, maybe a 16 through here. This is a size 20 that I did not make adjustments to. And I knew that it was a 2-inch difference across here. I just wanted to see how it would play out. I did stabilize this here, but I think it would fly. I just don't like the way this folds over here, so which suggests it is too big. So it should just meet right here like this, but I can overlap it like that, which is fine if it's a coat. Yes, on the dart. Okay, really nice. Are you going to wear a sweater under it? If I do, it's not going to be a really bulky sweater, probably like a turtleneck, fitted turtleneck knit sweater. So probably nothing too bulky. So I think this is what's getting me. Now, what I can do, I could go in. No, I'm not going to mess with this in here. I think I'm going to go in and you know what? Let's do that. Let me do it right now. Let me sew a dart in to see what it looks like. I can sew the dart in the front and the back. Ring is caught up in the fabric. Okay. Get my chair swivel back around. Alright, so I have the bust dart is right here, so I want to be at least about 2 inches away from the bust. I don't plan on going that that for far down anyway, but I want to go like halfway in between the shoulder seam and the neck edge. I want to go straight down. I want it to align to where the bust dart is. I'm not going all the way down to the bust dart, but I want the dart to kind of align there. All right. So I'm gonna do maybe like a hand length away from that dart. Stop from the bust dart. Start there. I'm just gonna take a quick dart and see what it looks like. These are kind of adjustments that you will make before cutting out your actual fabric. So that's probably about a 5-inch dart. Yep. So 5 inches from the shoulder and the back. And in the front, it's a little bit longer than that. I may not go that far down in the front. I don't know. We'll see. In the front, it is, it's about a 7.5-inch drop in the front. So what I'm going to do is fold it along that line with the seam allowance going towards the back. I do want to make sure that the seam allowance is aligned. I'm going to put a pin right there in the seam allowance, because I want that seam allowance to stay. Now I could open this seam up, then do the dart. I got it from Walmart. Alright, so I could open that seam allowance up, then do the dart, and then close it back. But right now, just for temporary sake, I'm going to baste a dart in here just to see what it's going to do. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch of dart. 1/2 inch, yeah. Because that 1/2 inch is going to give me an inch on this one side, and I'll take an inch from the other side if it turns out that's what I need. Okay. So I'm just going to do the one side so we can see what it looks like. We do a basting stitch, just 4 stitch. Not going to even back stitch. You hear that sound because I start stitching off the fabric. I didn't want to back stitch. I'm going to taper back down to 7.5-inch dart. All right, let's see. Let's see how this makes it look. What side is it on? Okay. See if you can tell the difference. Can you tell the difference? Just your thoughts. This is side, let's say this is side one and this is side two. Side one, side two. What side looks better? Can you tell which side I put the dart in? Side one, side two. All right. Can you tell the difference in the back? This is side two and this is side one. Side two, yeah. So this is the side that I added the dart in. See the difference that it made just taking that fabric out? Now, I could have probably taken a deeper seam allowance in here, but I might wear a belt with this. But this does let me know that I could have sized that seam down. I actually could have gone in too and taken in that center back seam in a little bit more. But I think I'm going to leave it like this. I don't mind it overlapping a little bit. That's fine. I just didn't want it to look so big right in here. And I don't think that I want to taper it in anymore under here. I think it's fine here. Long as it's not puckering here. Like, see how it's laying smooth right there? I achieved that. I accomplished that by taking that out by shortening the waist. But this part right here, that's a lot better. I like that. Still trying to decide if I do want to take this in. I don't think I want to take that in because I don't want it to be where it's too bulky. I mean, I don't have enough room. I think it'll be fine. Just taking that dart in, right? So that dart stops about right here. I started at the shoulder. You can't even really tell where I took the dart in because of the way the pattern is. But the dart is right here and it stops here. So, and then if I want to do a belt, I can, and it'll be fine. I'm going to use my tape measure as a belt. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to take any more. I am going to do the dart though. And I'm comfortable with the dart under there. Okay, do I need to go down a little bit more? Maybe about 7 inches in the back too. Let's see. So I only did 5 inches in the back. Let's see. It's still about 2 inches more. So about right here. I'll do 5 or 5.5. I did 5. Okay, so I'm gonna try. It does have pockets. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, it does have pockets. All right, so I'm gonna take this down to 7.5 inches in the back, like I did in the front. Still basting. Okay. love the weight of this. I love the way this feels. Oh yeah, I can already tell the difference. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Just that little bit of difference made made a big difference. A little bit goes a long way. So yeah, I think on hers like on these, I think hers open up like this, but I'm good with it opening like this, so I can literally just close it like that if I want to. I like the long sleeve, so it's a little bit more overcoat, cardigan, whatever you want to call it. Coat cardigan. I don't know how you want to call it, but I like it. What adjustments uh did I just do? All right, so I did the darts. I did a 7.5 inch dart in the front, but I did a 5 inch dart in the back. So I just extended that back dart to 7.5 inches down, like the front, and so it took a little bit more out right in here, so it's not so big. See, I don't know if you can see right in here how it folds a little bit right there, and see how it folds right here. So I didn't like that fold, but here, that's not as big right there. So, but yeah, that's it. I love it. So if I put a turtleneck on, like if I get cool or whatnot, I want to close it up a little bit. Let me show you her original pattern. All right, so see on the original pattern, hers is more open, doesn't close up. And it could be the way I can tell right here, it's not closed. She has it open up like this, kind of like this, you know. So that makes sense. So you can close it up. I haven't seen this pattern. I have to go on pattern review to see how everybody else styles it or whatnot. It is still just, it has a little bit of room, more room in it, probably than what the pattern calls for. But it's okay. I have some faux leather pants that I want to wear with it, maybe with a turtleneck. I also have, show this skirt. This is the skirt that I pulled out before that I thought I would cut up and use for sleeves, but the more I thought about it, I said, no, I still like my skirt. So, and I would do a turtleneck up underneath it, wear some textured hose under it, like some knit or they're not crochet hosiery, but has texture to it, designs and everything, with a booty, like an ankle booty with it, and a turtleneck sweater. So for just a contrast. And then I have this belt here. Now, why do I want it more fitted? I don't think I do. It's gonna be fine. Leave it alone. And this belt right here, I bought this to go with the Chandler fanny pack that I was making, but I realized that that contrast is nice for this. So I was going to use this as a belt for this, because the pattern uh, goes with that. I like it for a contrast. So, but anyway, that's it. Y'all, I'm going to leave it at that. The only thing I have to do is add the neck binding, bias binding to it, and hem this under. I think I am going to leave it long because I like that long, big feel to it. And this long sleeve will lend to the bagginess of the jacket. But you asked about pockets, so it does have pockets. Although the pockets almost feel like they're they're further back. I don't know why they feel like they're back here. But yeah, it does have pockets. All right. So that's it. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for tonight. I'll go ahead and finish this up, and hopefully I'll get a chance to model it. Y'all know I make stuff. Somebody asked me earlier today, what do you do with the clothes that you make? Sometimes they just sit in my closet. Sometimes they're one hit wonders, and they just sit there. But this is it. I love it. Y'all, I might end up, because it's going to bug me. I keep doing this. I think I'm going to end up going in and taking this in a little bit. Yeah. It started, the more I wear it, it feels bigger. So I might end up going in, taking in just a little bit more up under the arm, right? Not so much under the arm, but right here and above the pocket. I like this part here, but it's just right in here. And that's where I'm smaller at. I'm smaller up top than I am at the bottom. So anyway, I'll work it out. Yeah, because it's lightweight. Now, I don't know about the, well, spring, winter, and fall. Yes. No, well, spring, maybe. Yes, early part of spring. Uh, but I'm definitely happy with it. I'm glad I made the choice to make this particular cardigan. Um, but I'll go from there. But I do think I am going to go in and maybe take this in a little bit more up under here. Just kind of wedge that out. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me while I worked on this cardigan. And next week, tomorrow will be the end of our stash busting fast for the second week. The second week, this has been the week for set-in sleeves. Last week we did, what did we do last week? Oh goodness, what did we do last week? I drew a blank. Zippers. We did zippers last week. And this week has been set-in sleeves. So I did a video here on YouTube where I showed you how to do set-in sleeves with woven fabric. Tonight it's been knit fabrics. So make sure you, if you did any set-in sleeves, make sure you post anywhere, like inside the group on So Much Talent page on Facebook or Instagram. Hashtag SMT2025 Stash Busting Fast. Next week we'll be doing anything darts. So whatever you sew in darts, make sure you post and let me know. All right. The last week we're doing notch collars. So make sure you tag me in your notch collars. All right. Love y'all life. Y'all have a good night.